Camera's rolling. See yourself all right in it?
Yep.
Cool. That's the goal. We
All
made
right.
it.
Did it.
Just wrapped up, what, an 8-hour shoot day?
Yeah.
Exhausting, but we made it. How
Yep.
was it?
It was really good. I was impressed with how you set up the room because it doesn't look like our office currently today. But what you did, I thought really.
Even this room.
Yeah, it's a little different, but you set it up really nicely where I think it's gonna play well with the videos.
Yeah, it worked out. You guys were great sports too. I'm glad we were able to make it work and fly out here and get it done for you. So, for those who don't know, my name is Patrick Donahue. I am the Chief Marketing Officer and Creative Director for Amplified.io. I'm sitting here with Alfred, Mr. Costanzo.
Yeah.
Give us a full introduction of who you are, what you do at this company, what company it is.
Yeah, so I'm a financial advisor. I have my own firm here, Costanzo Financial Advisors. So a lot of what we do on that end is we're helping people get financial advice, retirement planning. Work with a lot of people in that 55 to 65-year-old age gap of people who are about to retire here shortly.
Yeah.
So we help make their lives a lot easier, reduce their taxes, increase their income, a lot of fun stuff there.
Money needs help.
Yeah.
Money makes money, money needs help.
There you go.
You're very important. So just diving right into it, got some questions for you. How were you guys approaching growth for your firm before you started working with Amplified?
Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff. We still do seminars. They're kind of a base for us, but we always found we needed like a little bit of a push, a little add-on to that because you only do so many nights a month doing seminars. So we used to do like pay for leads, like I don't want to name a couple out there, but you pay for a lead, right, and you get one. Did a lot of those.
We'll get into those.
Yeah,
we'll get into that.
A lot of those kind of lead sources. Yeah. We tried other things too. Tried other digital marketing companies that kind of you get ads through there. Frankly, none of them really worked. So the seminars still work well for us, but it's just tough to scale that. So we needed something to kind of give us some more appointments without us, I guess, having to spend 4 or 5 hours in a week doing a seminar, right?
Like we said, money makes money, money needs money, time is money. So you were doing in person, which is a very good avenue and facet, in the old school way, but you're realizing it wasn't quite the leap of growth you needed for yourself. And you needed an extra push.
Yeah, how to reach more people without spending more time doing it.
Right.
Essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
You kind of jumped me the gun on a few other questions. We'll touch on those later. I'll run down this though.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to hear you worked with other people and it wasn't quite the best fit for you. Like you said, you've tried other systems and programs before. What was good about them? What didn't work for you? What kind of led you to wanting to move forward?
Yeah, I guess they always kind of push the less time thing. You pay for a lead, it comes in, you just gotta call them up. Which it could work, but then you find the quality isn't that great. They don't know who you are going into it, so it's a cold call essentially. With most of these people, there's no branding of you going through it, so it just felt different when you met those people. It wasn't the same.
Like they were a vendor, you were a paycheck, and that's all you were to them.
Yeah, and you got linked up, and the client, prospect had no idea who you were.
Yeah.
But they just knew they clicked some link in an article.
Talking to a random account manager, they barely know who you are. They don't even know where your business is. They're just cold calling leads, feeding them to you. Were those leads, were they high quality, or were a lot of times they just were busts?
Yeah, a lot of them were busts. We got some clients out of it.
Sure.
But from like an ROI standpoint, it didn't really produce the ROI we kind of wanted. If you're making just your money back, that's okay. You'd like to probably make a 2, 3, 4, 5x ROI on your marketing, and we weren't really getting that.
Especially these days, there's so much noise out there. It's hard to pinpoint what's right for you, who's right, And with that, jumping in, what made Amplified stand out to you, knowing that you've been with other companies, other agencies, other lead vendors, you've tried this whole gamut. What kind of led you to going with Amplified and made it stand out for you?
Yeah, I think the big thing that stood out to me was like kind of our own branding.
Yeah.
So if we're going to be spending money on these ads, the fact that our name is out there and it's us in videos and they're seeing us the whole time through. So I think the fact that you guys kind of help facilitate that, help build out the websites, funnel pages that we need to like advertise ourselves through that nature. You kind of feel more like you're building something that we actually have in control.
For yourself too.
Yeah. And in terms of that, I felt like and I think because of that, you get higher quality people from there too who are more willing to talk to you when they actually step in.
Yeah.
And most of the appointments that we get are self-booked. I mean, we're not reaching out to them. They book on the spot and they know who they're going to go talk to, which.
And you're not paying expeditiously per lead to a different agency that you know is taking a huge cut up. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we can control that. We can turn up our ad spend. We can change our ads, control that too, which, I like personally. I can kind of play around with that stuff. So there's some control on our end, but you guys are there and been helping us along the way make that happen, which it's kind of a nice little, you have control, but you also have direction of kind of where
you're taking words out of my mouth.
Okay.
I mean, no, it makes sense because it's like, and you can tie into this if you feel this. Our whole ethos is the idea is, hey, we'll do it for you, but we also want to put as much power back into your hands as possible. Allowing you to learn and teach yourself the methods that the pros know, but gatekeep it behind a paywall. And allowing that to be something that and per lead. Something that you can learn yourself, run yourself, and then we can offer, hey, if you need content like today, we can fly out. Or hey, if you just want it done, you can shovel it off. But at that point, you already know, we know you, you know us. You've talked with Joe, you've talked with me, you got both of our personal numbers.
Yeah. It's helpful to have that because it's true, like there's certain bottlenecks you run into. It's nice being able to, hey, I have a question on this one item to make this work, and you guys were there for that. So it helps out a lot.
Yeah, and maybe you can touch on just how it feels knowing that you're not reliant on somebody else to grow your own company. Having your own knowledge to build and scale and not necessarily even needing us at some degree.
Yeah, I think it helps to know as it scales and you have different ideas, you can test those ideas out and play around with that, where if it is, it's behind a paywall and someone else is doing it, it does make it, you can't change anything. Right.
So you're left in the dark.
Yeah.
And you don't even know what they're doing. And a lot of the times they don't even teach you.
Yeah.
And the difference is, correct if I'm wrong, pretty much the A, B, and C's now fundamentally of online digital marketing for your own company.
Yes. And I guess with that too, we can also target who we want to target, which is another thing. Like kind of we can change our ads and do different things that target the people that we're trying to reach. So it's more personalized on that end too. So there's a lot of positives that come out of it. There's not really any negatives because it's your brand, right? And your marketing. Yeah. You can change it. Yeah. You're not stuck with, hey, just do this. You can actually change it.
It should be as flexible as having to run your own company is these days. I mean, we all know every core business life in the world is changing. So, I mean, your knowledge on how to do that should change with it.
Yeah.
So that's good to hear. Looking into when you started with us, what was it like moving on from these other vendors? The bad experience you've had with that to starting with our team. How did you find the setup? How did you find the program? How did you find the support? Kind of walk me through, starting green to where you're at now.
Yeah, I think going from, I took the kind of path of do it myself where I'm going to get you guys' guidance along the way. So like all the module videos I went through and did. If you're somewhat tech savvy, I'm not like super tech savvy, you could go through it and make it happen. But when I had a question, I'd go to the school board, type in my question or text Joe or get someone to answer. And through that, I was able to figure some stuff out I might have some bottlenecks with, and it was pretty seamless. I mean, the hardest part was the recording, figuring out what you're going to record and do it. And at that point, I was recording everything myself too. It took a little longer. But I mean, after I put a couple weeks into it, maybe a month into it, of me like doing stuff every week, a little at a time, and I ended up getting it all done. So, and I think without any help from you guys on the video side at that point, I think we still created some pretty good material where we got appointments and got people to come in to see us for appointments. And then today we're now kind of decided we need to revamp some of that stuff we did and make it a little more professional, a little bit better than what we had before, which is what we did today. But even just me doing it on my own, it worked. And we saw more money than, we saw a lot of, in those first meetings, money seen was, we were seeing people that we never probably would have gotten in front of in a seminar case that we were getting on the digital ads that, gives you an opportunity to close a lot of business.
So you saw a quicker value, and it's, it's the whole thing surrounding you. You take a horse to water and you teach it to drink versus just, give it 1 cup of water. We taught you how to drink. and you're able to see your own value from there, and then move forward with that into, hey, now we want to do further production. It wasn't just, oh, we're going to sell you leads. It was like, we're going to teach you how to do this yourself, and then if you want that support going forward, we're still going to be here for you. And if not, that's our goal. The goal is that, hey, if you don't need us in the future, great. We hope you're successful. You've learned what you need to learn, and you can move forward with your business.
Yeah, exactly.
It's wonderful. You were touching on seeing leads immediately. And obviously, I think most people want to know when they're skeptical about joining a program or community or working with a new agency, because everybody's had their own bad experiences with it. What kind of results have you seen so far since launching the system with what you learned from Amplified?
Yeah, so it's been we're like 2.5 months in, I think, of for ads launching to now. About 2.5 months. So we saw people the first week. We got people to book an appointment.
Wow, within the first week?
Yeah, which is pretty, I don't think maybe that's more common. I don't know. We got some good ads out there that got some results.
Results may vary.
But we saw some good people off the bat. And I think our first person we saw, can I give numbers on here? Does it matter?
Yeah, go ahead.
And they had like $14 million the first person we saw, which
wow.
We were like, all right, well, that's kind of cool. That hasn't happened normally, So that didn't work out, but still the fact that we saw that high quality kind of lead, and that continued. And one thing that kind of happened was sales process wise, we kind of figured out pretty quickly we weren't running these meetings the right way. So I ended up getting some help with Joe on that end, on the sales process. So you guys helped with that too, where you kind of figured out a PowerPoint to show in that meeting, kind of to rebuild the brand up when they come in, because we realized these people who get ads, like anything, you get a lot of those same ads over and over again. We weren't the only webinar some of these people saw, so that means we have to kind of re-emphasize stuff. So we changed our sales process, and with that, we just closed somebody the other week that had $2.7 million, right? So we got a first client off there, and that more than that ROI on that is very high, kind of what we paid the last 2.5 months. So we can keep these ads going the next 4 months.
Right, that pays
any
for
client,
us
and
3 or 4 times over.
Yeah, so it's that itself, boom. But then we have other people in the pipeline that are coming through now too, where we feel like, hey, we're paying less than what we would pay in terms of ads than we would pay for like one seminar in the month, but we're getting probably double the amount of appointments, right, compared to that one seminar. So
that's an immense impact.
And it gets so we have other younger advisors that we are bringing on. It helps them get more meetings and see more meetings too when we do that. So it's a useful way to get more people to see you, more opportunities, more prospects. So it's been whole process. I covered a lot there, but pull it into the question.
You answered it wonderfully. It's pretty wild to hear. First week, you have a $14 million potential look. Didn't close, but still a look that otherwise you would have had to gravel for 3 months in seminars paying thousands of dollars for. And then within the first week you closed, 2.3 million?
2.7.
2.7. And then on top of that, when you were able to realize there was a bottleneck in your own system, you weren't just left out to dry or on a drip feed system. You were able to go into the community, get support to help you leverage training to work on your sales module and re-up that. So that way you can go from first impression to close and make it smoother than it ever was before.
Yeah.
And
that would change maybe more recently, like a month ago, where we gotten better in our sales process. We're seeing the meeting process has gone a little smoother now. So we have people in the pipeline now that we're probably going to getting that hasn't happened yet, but we feel pretty good about a lot of people who've come through the last couple of weeks, wonderful. Especially.
So. And that's crucial too, because it's so many people focus on just trying to get themselves out there or market or bring in leads, but they don't actually focus on the hardest part, which is closing them. And the process in that, your discovery, your exploratory, how to build the brand, how to build trust, and how to get through that process the most streamlined for you on the back end possible for your team, as well as the most comfortable for, forward-facing for your clients. And we found that super, super important to include, because it's, what good are we to help you build up your front-facing nomenclature, but not know how to close on it.
Yeah, and that was kind of we really liked that about you guys. It wasn't just like a one, here, get the lead, have fun with it. You guys have actually been supportive in all different areas. Like, how do we actually get that lead to come in and become a client now? So I like that a lot with you guys as well. It's not just a one facet thing. There's actually getting the ROI at the end, which is closing the client.
And it's measurable now too. It's hard to measure front-facing lead, forward count, at a seminar, who did I talk to, who's a potential warm, who's in the pipeline. Now you can measurably show, here's our engagement, here's who's coming through, here's our close rate, all that.
Yeah.
I don't mean to dig too deep, but if you could provide some numbers for us since starting with us, how much have you closed since working with us, and how many new clients have you been able to add?
Yeah, so like I said, it's been 2.5 months. I think we're right around 3 new clients we've gotten.
Yeah.
So around like $5 million in business closed, which about half that came from the 2.7. But again, like the sales process really didn't have down.
Sure.
You've noticed the last month is all that has really kind of come through. Essentially, is that there? So it's it's started working pretty well. We'll see how this goes now the rest of the year.
Yeah.
We have pretty high hopes. For the fourth quarter now, we're going to get even more and get better and better at actually having a better closing ratio, because we probably have seen a good amount of meetings in the first month or two. Those meetings you probably just didn't run the right way, frankly.
You burned some leads.
We burned through some. Looking back on it, wish we got the sales process better sooner.
They're in your pipeline now. You could re-nurture those too. They're in
Correct.
a pipeline. You have those.
Yeah, and we've had someone, like just yesterday, we had someone reach back out. We met them back in early August,
Sure.
and they just emailed us last week. They want to meet again after the first meeting that they had. Didn't think it was going anywhere, but then now they want to talk to us. So there's a pipeline now of people that we can reach back out to, which is helpful.
That's incredible. If you were to tell yourself 2.5 months ago, it's a two-pronged question. If you were to tell yourself 2.5 months ago, hey, Alfred, I just closed $5+ million of business in 2.5 months, what would you have told yourself? And what would you have had to do to get that level of business in that time frame before working with Amplified?
Yeah, to close $5 million more than we kind of expected, we'd have to do probably 4 to 5 more seminars, right, in that time period to get that. So, if you're doing about $1 million, $1.5 million from a seminar, like you'd have to, more time, I guess, right? So more time and money to do that, where we didn't spend nearly as much it would have cost for those events, and then time obviously is less than that too. So, yeah, it made a big difference.
Yeah, and doing those seminars, like, they're good. It takes time away from yourself, growing your team, managing your practice, managing your own client pipeline and flow. It takes you out of that, which they're still great to do, and we fully encourage that. It's just allowing you to put yourself back in the driver's seat, essentially.
Yeah, like one thing like that happened to us a month ago, a seminar, we had to cancel it. We had some mailers not go out to the right places, but then what ended up happening was we just increased our ad spend on Facebook.
There
and
it is.
then
Pull from one pot, drop in the other, and see
it
what happens.
kind of made up for that lack of maybe 10 meetings you would have gotten from that seminar.
Yeah.
We got it back from the Facebook, so we use it kind of as a crutch with the seminars of, hey, we want to see X amount of meetings. The seminar just gets us X, but we need this webinar stuff to kind of give us the extra leads coming in. So we found the last 2 months we haven't really been. Sometimes you might have a rough week where people don't show up, you don't see as many meetings, but we're becoming overly booked, which helps us have like a more consistent flow of meetings happening now.
Yeah.
Because like over the weekend,
That's not a bad problem to have.
It's good.
Not a bad problem to have.
Because over the week we might get 4 or 5, 6 appointments set from the webinar for that week, and all of a sudden like your week gets full, and now you can see people. So it's been a nice little addition to our marketing that we've been previously. It works out pretty nicely.
It's a nice crutch to have too. Knowing that you have this, it's not even a crutch, it's a forerunner, but even still knowing you can have that to where our normal method isn't working, now I know and have the power and the knowledge to just do this. We can just put the funds going towards this avenue. It's kind of addicting too, isn't it? Knowing that you can kind of just put X in and you know you're going to get X out.
Yeah, and that's kind of the data on it. You can see a lot and kind of know what's going on, see what ads are performing, what's not performing, so you have a pretty good sense of like what to expect because of all the Facebook data you get from it.
It's like gone are the days of like having to be afraid of a dry month or a dry Q4. Because if you have this knowledge, you'll never be dry again.
Correct. You're going to see it. If one of your ads maybe doesn't perform well anymore, you see that in real time. So you just either make new ads we did today, right? Or you might have another ad kind of that you can place in and do that.
Right.
So you kind of know what's happening when you're looking at this, which is nice.
Would you have known how to do all that and manage that for yourself before finding Amplified?
No, like the Facebook ads, everything. No, it's still confusing to me. But there's certain metrics I look at that you guys say, hey, look, these are the important numbers to actually look and see. So that's what I do, and it's pretty easy to follow when you look at it that way. But no, it's a little confusing. There's definitely it's just if you're not used to dealing with that kind of tech with the Facebook ads or even just like placing the videos on there, it can be confusing. But you guys did make it pretty easy with your videos to like follow and how to do that.
Learn enough.
Yeah, learn enough to do it. Now you get better and better at it too. But
so, going back to you had bad experiences. Hopefully, we'd like to say it's a good experience now, even after the shoot day today too. How has all this changed how you think about digital marketing for advisors?
A lot different. I think before it was kind of felt like you're kind of burning money a little bit in a way where you're trying to do different things, trying to be almost the lazy way of doing things. It felt like doing a pay for lead service and not actually putting the work in. But now with digital marketing, the way we're doing it now, it feels a lot more organic. It feels people actually are seeing us. Even if we don't book a ton of appointments in a weekend, people are still seeing our brand, and we market all throughout Florida. So people locally who see us on Facebook and they see us send a seminar mailer to them for dinner or at a Social Security event, they are recognizing our brand more now. So it's almost like, even if you don't get any appointments from it, just the brand marketing helps a lot too. So
the identity collateral that comes with that.
Yeah, and I don't even know how much that's even affecting us. Can't really measure it, but it's kind of like how Coca-Cola has a commercial on TV. They don't know how much money they make off that commercial. They just know it's brand marketing. It's part of the marketing you have to do. This has that, but also it's more, you can measure it too, but there's probably more revenue being created that we can't measure just because of brand awareness that's happening.
Yeah.
People see our videos.
It's multifaceted. You're taking control. You know to do this. You're also getting the intangible of your brand identity, the collateral. You're becoming a local figure, if you will, an authority figure, especially throughout the market that you're advertising in. And then you're like you said, who knows how much that's bringing in? But let's say somebody sees 1 ad, 2 ads, and 3 ads, and then they see returns, and they see what you're talking about. All of a sudden, you've built this authority funnel to where they know, okay, hey hun, the conversation's come up. Maybe we should reach out to this guy. I saw him. It might not be direct the first time, but because you're doing that and putting yourself out there, it's creating that ability to be in somebody's top of frame, top of mind when they need it.
Exactly, and that's kind of, again, hard to measure, but over time, I imagine it's going to get larger and larger.
Compound effect.
Instead of doing radio, people do radio, they do TV. Instead of doing radio, you could do the Facebook marketing. They still work. They still work. It can be expensive though, and I think we've debated radio. It was actually when we signed with you guys, we were debating, do we do a radio show or do we do more on digital marketing? We decided digital marketing because it felt more immediate, the results we can get. Where radio, some advisors might take 6-12 months to get a return. Now, radio could be really good, but it might take a long time.
And there's no direct, you can't see. You can't see exactly where it's coming from.
Exactly. It's kind of more like the media presence, but now we can see more data and actually get booked appointments directly off our ads, which that helps say, all right, spending this much money on ads, it makes sense because we can get X return. So it makes
how happy are you that you didn't choose to go radio?
Very. Yeah. And I would,
no
offense,
still makes
sense.
No offense to radio.
Yeah,
I love traditional
think
media.
For us, we were looking more for a return up front or return as soon as possible. And the fact that we've gotten that in the first 3 months, that's more than you can ask for.
Yeah.
Where other stuff I think would take a little bit longer.
Right.
So yeah, I'm happy we went the route we went. So we're good there.
Bless. So I guess looking back at it, well, actually before I get to this, if somebody's watching this right now, they're probably in the same shoes you were in a couple months ago. They've probably been burned for a couple thousand, if not tens of thousands, with a drip feed agency, other models, who knows what, and they're very skeptical to lay any level of investment into another program or system or agency. What would you say to that and say to them?
Yeah, I would say in terms of my experience as a whole, going through the process of learning how to do these ads in itself is worth the cost in itself there, not even getting ROI, but learning how to do these ads. Because you're going to do, whether it be, you want to just do your complete own thing, whether it be, just the learning through that was very helpful.
Yeah.
But then the actual support you guys gave and actually like helped out fix certain things and bottlenecks that I hit and helped me get through, that was worth it. It would have taken me a lot longer to do it on my own completely. I don't even know if I really would have gotten to like, it wouldn't have been as good if I tried to do it completely on my own either. I probably would have messed some things up, would have known who to send the ad, how to do the ad, how exactly to send that out.
Another 3, 6, 9 months of trial and error.
Yeah, so I probably saved money on that end by doing it that way, but also like gave me more confidence to spend money on the ad too. Because if you only spend $500 a month on an ad, you're not going to get crazy results. So the fact that I had you guys backing me up and saw other people do these ads and it worked.
Seeing the proof in the community, knowing that you're not alone on an island. People are running the same system you're learning, and they're printing.
Exactly, yeah. So seeing that gives you more confidence. All right, I'm going to go and spend the money on this, on the ad spend, because it works. If I didn't have that, I might have been a lot more conservative, and then it might take you 5-6 months to get a return because you're only spending a couple $100 a month on ads.
Right.
You're not going to see the results.
Then you're getting frustrated. You're like, I'm burning this money.
Yeah, so I think that, but I guess for someone making a decision, I thought it was worth it. I still think it's worth it today. I mean, we just did the whole new video shoot for new ads. Not that our ads weren't working. We just felt like we had 1 or 2 good ones that we produced on our own, but we want more. And that's why we reshot some today and did that. So we wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't working.
So, if another advisor, another professional business owner was in the boat you were in, and they've been burned, but they're looking for new growth partners, what would you tell them?
You guys are different than the other lead marketers out there. I mean, the fact that it's your website you're building, it's yours. So that was a big thing for me. Why I kind of went with you guys. I felt like that was the fact that you guys are giving us that and it's kind of this direction. It must work with what you're doing because there's not there's not anyone out there that offers that kind of, hey, build your own brand for the marketing. Mostly they use their brand to market, and then you get the lead. So that part in itself, you're building your company up, and now it becomes building a company to sell or grow and scale down the line. This is like a good foundation to have for the digital marketing side of stuff.
So the investment was worth it?
It was, yeah.
Wonderful. It's good to hear. I'm glad we paid it back quickly too.
Yeah.
The ROI in the ads. It's good to hear. Do you see this and Amplified helping your firm long term, and what's your vision with the system now going forward?
Yeah, so we have some other advisors I mentioned that we're trying to get them more appointments. So an easy way to do that is we can just spend more on Facebook ads without any more time. We just spend more. So the ads we just shot today, a big goal of that is now to maybe get even a better ROI on our ad spend in terms of like paid for clicks and all that stuff there. And with that, we're looking to really turn this on even more for next year and trying to have it be a big part of our revenue coming in. So it'd be really cool to have it replace and outproduce our seminar production. Would be like have it be a main source of our clients coming in. So I think it could happen next year definitely, without spending nearly as much money. And if that happens, that helps us grow because now we have less expenses, but more revenue coming in. So
long term, fit the system in, keep growing. If you need support, we're going to be here. It works out.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thanks, guys.